Google Forms, a pretty basic form builder, but if your organization has Google email, you should probably know how to use it because it does have some pretty cool functionality and use cases. My name is Jordan Taylor with the Corporate Training Companion, and today I'll walk you through the top 2 use cases for Google Forms as a corporate trainer. Okay, so to get to Google Forms, you can go to docs.google.com/forms, or just go to the waffle here in the top right-hand corner, and then cruise down until you see Forms on the left-hand side, and that will bring you here. Once here, the very first thing that you're gonna see is start with a blank form, or you can open the template gallery. There are a number of templates sorted by category for you to choose from, and you can build off of those, or you can start your own. Outside of the template gallery, you've also got your recent forms. So if you've been building with something, all of your recent forms will be listed down there. I'm going to go ahead and click blank form. This will bring us into a brand new form that we can start to build off of. You'll see that the name of the form is in the top left. You've got your tab here for questions. This is the builder area. You've got your tab for responses. We don't have any responses because it's brand new. And then you've got some settings. We'll go over that a little bit later. You can customize your theme here by changing the different text style, the colors. You can add your own background, choose a header image. You've got preview, undo or redo, copy the responder link, and you can share it. To start building, these are going to be your title boxes here. So we can just type in our title. And then if you need a description or you want to add a description, like we appreciate your feedback or something along those lines, you can do that. First question, we'll call it Leadership 101. Second option, we'll call it Leadership 202. And those are your different options. If I want to add an additional, we've got Leadership 303, and you can add an other and they can type in their own. Now to change the question type, because this is multiple choice, you just click on this drop down up here, and you've got short answer, paragraph. You can, instead of radio buttons, you can use check boxes. You can change it to a drop down, ask them to upload a file, ask them to drag and drop a little dot on a line, a rating, multiple choice grid or checkbox, which are interesting, and then date and time. Pretty standard, nothing too crazy when it comes to the different types of questions. If you want to remove an answer that you've added, just boom, there it is. You can copy this or duplicate it. You can delete it. You can make it required, meaning that they have to answer it. And then you've got just a couple of additional options here. You can make it so you have a description to this question, add more context. You can go to section based on an answer, which is logic or branching. You'll hear it called in other survey tools, or you can shuffle your options. And then lastly, if we want to add an additional question, here's your panel for doing that. You can import your questions, add your title and description. That's going to create a second one of these boxes. So if you wanted to have a different section that had a title and a description, then you can do that. Images, videos, and then you can make different sections. And sections are kind of neat. You can drag questions into different sections. So if you wanted one question per screen, then you could do it like that. So they're not seeing the entire form all at once. Useful in some cases for the purposes of survey feedback after training, probably not so much. For a quiz, could be a little more interesting. You can have them focus on one specific question at a time, and that would be nice. So those are your basics for building. Now, once a survey is completed, you're going to want to check those responses. To do that, you go to the responses tab here in the middle, and you've got a breakdown in-app of all of your responses in aggregate. So you can cruise through those and highlight any trends in aggregate. You can also look at the responses question by question and see how people answered. And then you can look at individuals. How did a particular individual respond versus the group? The other option that you've got is to link it to Google Sheets. You can export it as a spreadsheet and make pivot tables and analyze the data that way. And those are your responses options. After that, you could go to settings. There are a number of different settings. You can change what sort of data is collected from a response. You can change the way that the form is presented. And you can change the settings for collecting email addresses on a global scale. So that is your responses and settings. Let's take a quick look at how a quiz differs from a form. Here we have our animal quiz. And the biggest difference is that you have the answer key option on a quiz. With the answer key, it does make it mandatory that you add in an amount of points. It's defaulted at 0, and you can add as many points as you want. And you also need to select the correct answer. You can select multiple answers being correct or just a single answer. When you're done, you hit done, and then the rest of the settings are exactly the same. Responses are a little bit different in quizzes than they are in surveys. You get some insights across the top, giving you average, median, and range of answers and your total points distribution. So that's helpful information to gauge how effective your training was against this quiz. And the rest is a similar breakdown of the different question types, which you can look at on aggregate, which you can look at a question level, or you can look at an individual level, just like in the surveys. In the settings, they are the same settings, but Make This a Quiz is automatically selected. And then you've got some interesting options for how answers are displayed, missed questions are displayed, point values are displayed after someone submits their quiz. So you may want them to immediately see their grades after submission, or you may want them to see them later after review. And that does require you to collect an email address. You may want them to be able to see which questions they got incorrect, or you may want to keep that secret to maintain the integrity of the questions, but you do have some options there. The rest of the options are pretty much the same. So that's your quick introduction to Google Forms and the most common use cases for corporate trainers. I hope it was helpful. I hope it sparked some ideas for collecting feedback and assessing your learners. If you found this useful, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon so you can stay up to date with our weekly corporate training related videos. My name is Jordan Taylor with the Corporate Training Companion. Until next time.